Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today is episode 2, or as intended to be episode 2, of my Afghanistan game. I believe we're just going to press continue here. Who knows, we'll see if this works in a moment. I'm hoping it will. But, you know, things have happened worse previously. I've also forgotten to clean out my old videos, or the video from last week, to make sure I've got enough space that it doesn't stop recording halfway through. So we're just gonna hope it'll work, and if it doesn't, then well, we at least tried. Yeah, my bad on that one. Yeah, I probably should make a thing of doing a checklist of preparation for video for this channel. But haven't this week. I'll make sure to do that next week. Speaking of next week, I would quite like, if I have any choice to the matter, to start posting videos on this channel from Millennium Dawn again. That relies on me getting my new PC as quickly as possible. I also want to potentially, and this is me announcing it now, do FS25 or Farm Sim 25 videos as well on the channel, to provide a little bit of variety, I guess is a word that you could use for such a thing. But that's a little bit of an idea I've got of what I'd like to do. Obviously, you know, I need a new PC first. Is pretty much a big reason as to why that hasn't happened yet. Because for games like FS25, my current PC, which I'm using now, hasn't got the graphics capacity to do it. I just want graphics card wise, well, maybe mine doesn't have one at all. Yeah, there's a few things that need to happen in the background to do these new and adventurous type of things, which I don't want to say are taking a little bit longer than I would like, but you know, that might also be a thing that I might have to say. But they will happen at some point, and I'll make sure of that. It's just what that some point looks like is not something I quite know at this minute in time. But something I do know is that, as you would have seen a couple of seconds ago, and I haven't narrated it, but I am going to words need to be spoken clearer. As you can see on the screen currently, I have got the deployment, recruit and deploy thing open. I am not coherent in what I'm trying to say today. Yeah, equipment isn't there. That's what I meant to say. Took me a minute there. I will wake up a bit more once I get to the end of this video, or get along a little bit more into it. Yeah. Anyway, let's just sort that, shall we? To sort that means, unfortunately, that. And then, if we're doing that, then we may as well do, it's not that one, it's this. Not with a space. There you go, that should, there you go. And then, that should do something along the lines of sorting that one out. So let's sort us out equipment wise, hopefully. Also gives us an entire range of new equipment, like nuclear weapons, which just doesn't sound like something I want to happen in real life, with countries currently being questioned. Yeah, let's not get into real life politics. It just doesn't sound like a great idea, that one. If they're at 16, that's 4, 8. Well, that's one extra than I need to have. We'll get rid of that one, and then should be alright, roughly. Also, we need to not do whatever that just did. I did nothing, okay. We need to do this and add some manpower. We'll add 1 million just to be safe and make sure that we can achieve any and all targets that we want to do so. We will put them, where's our capital? In our capital there. I was half hoping they were going to just deploy instantly. Spoiler alert, they didn't. So we'll just add another conflict command to the list of ones that we're using. And then hopefully that'll get us some new troops out pretty swiftly here. So we're going to have a little look at hoping that we can actually get a advancement done here pretty quickly. We'll turn the instant training command off here as it's not necessary anymore. Now hopefully we will mobilize these troops. Anytime today would be quite nice. And hopefully we should start making some decent advances forward here. This could take about 45 minutes. Fun. I mean, we are pushing here, which is good. You can see in the green bowl that's just basically ended. Nice, nice. We're also pushing into the capital here of Kabul. It'll be a much more, what's the word, difficult advance, potentially, might be the word here. I mean, I doubt it, because we're showing quite speed. There's a lot of speed to the advance here into Kabul itself, which is good. However, I don't know what's going to, push them to surrender or whatever here, as I'm not sure, beyond Kabul, I'm not sure where their victory points are. So I guess we'll find out in a moment. That answers that question. So let's take these 11 divisions here. Ignore that. We'll just send them to encircle that. That makes sense. That should be pretty swift, hopefully. That takes up a lot of their territory, which should be a very good thing here. We'll also make sure they can't capitalize out of that tile there while we are advancing towards it from another front. I mean, I surely can't imagine that they've got much. There you go, I was about to say they ain't got much left, and they didn't, which is good. So we'll pause the game here now. So that's Afghanistan fully under our control. I have completely forgotten where we were at and what we're doing, so we're going to find that out now. Even though it's been, what, a week since I last recorded? Yeah. We'll find out quickly here. So, oh yeah, we're going down that. So we need to go, right, okay. I have no idea how we've gone down here. Probably go down here, because that would give me, I mean, that looks better. Right, let's turn on another console command here. There you go, you can hear the typing in the background, which is You know, I'd rather not hear a bunch of typing in the background, but anyway, we ain't got much of a choice to that one. Let's go down here. We'll expand the border guards because that'd be quite useful. We'll do an intelligence agency because that'd be probably a very good idea. There we go. Yep, of course, cavalry, because, you know, make use of the terrain. Then we'll rebuild them. And then basically rebuild everything else as well. Making sure that everything is completely rebuilt. Right, and then do that here. And that is done there. Now that unfortunately means we can't do aircraft or navy, which means it's fine because we don't have a port in a minute, so that's not much of an issue. But we will at some point do a navy, so we'll get around to it. Sorry guys. Had a sneeze there. Now we'll get back on track here. So we want to go down the path of this one, I do believe. Yes, indeed, that is the one we want to go down. We'll do this. And then we'll do that one. And then this. Then we can possibly do this. We're just going to do as many of these as possible. Okay, we'll do that. Right. So next, yes, obviously we want to go to war with Iran. That seems rather useful. We should probably wait on that one. Let's wait on the rest of them for now. What would this do? This focus here. Just join that faction. This one is creating our own faction. How about we do neither? Right. Okay, so we'll go back over here. We'll turn off the auto-completing focus console command, and we'll just put a focus in here. Right, so now any undeployed troop or unassigned troop, that was not what I meant to click there. That's better. We'll take these 13 divisions, assign them here, assign them a leader here, and that way they're ready for whatever needs to be done, which in this case is going to war with Iran. So we'll get them across to the border and we'll get moving on that mission here, hopefully at a nice and swift pace. That should do for a front line. We'll set them up ready to go and pretty much start moving here to the border region. We'll just make sure everyone's moving properly here across to where we need them. Let's have a little look at the decisions as well here. What's this about? Deploy all irregular divisions up to our current cap. That seems fair. I will do that, why not? May as well. We'll do that. It's always good to have more troops. We'll just promote some resistance there. And see what happens. Sure, nothing bad will happen about that one. What's this about? Our recruitment of more troops. Yes. Right, so we're basically on the border here. So I think we're probably ready to go into war here. Annex is just take the entire nation. Take claim state is the entire nation, so we'll just go with the annex one. It's a bit easier territorial wise to decide on that. Right, so we'll start moving out from our border here. It's very unclear here how this is going to start off with. Well, I should probably say that it's going to start off very well, would be my guess, considering the fact we've already taken a decent amount of territory, and we're going to continue to take even more. It'd be nice if we could get a port. That would be really, really useful, which I'm sure we will here at some point soon. We'll move up here to try and claim more of the border with the Soviet Union. Sure, this will go well. I mean, we could try and... I mean, either way we're going to take part of the Caspian Sea, so we may as well try and take it as soon as possible here, is my thinking. I mean, we could do a very interesting one and try and take the airbase and then straight push to Tehran. You know what, why don't we? I'm sure that won't end up badly. I mean, if they're not predicting it, then, well, it should go okay. That's not good, but that'll be alright. Right, so we should have the airbase under our control here, which means any Air Force planes they were planning to take off to use for their offensives, well, they just won't. So that's good. Are they really not protecting their capital? There's no way they're not protecting their capital here. This is such a easily predicted move. Okay, they're actually not protected. Okay. I didn't think we were actually going to get away with this one, but, you know, I stand corrected, and that's okay. We have their capital. How and why this is possible, I do not know. But I say there's probably another move to go. So, let's continue. Right, so we're going to continue from their capital here to their new capital, and hope that we can get away with it again, which from the last attempt I'm sure we probably can. Yeah, not some things I thought were going to happen. Yeah, this is definitely going a lot better than predicted. Very good. I'm sure we'll have Iran's second capital here very soon. And we're not even putting air or naval cover for this. This is quite impressive. And that's Iran's second capital taken. Now I'll pause the game here because we probably need to draw a new front line down here, just to make sure we're taking everything that we possibly can. And then we'll unpause here. Right, and then for the sake of purely, we should probably remove one of these, it'd be easier. We'll send this division over to there, or these two divisions technically, as a sort of diversionary force, while the real force starts from over here. Well, the real force starts from over there, before any Iranian troops get there. So I'm sure we can attack the capital on multiple different fronts here. Well, you can see we're closing up the top pocket of Iran here, which is going quite well. I mean, I seriously did not think we were going to have that main assault going as well as it did towards Tehran, because I thought they were going to have massive amounts of troops all along that Caspian Sea sort of region to just basically stop us in our tracks, but apparently that wasn't on their strategic protection list, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. But we should hopefully have, well, it's going really fast right now, so it's hard to say what we're going to have in about 5 seconds time. The third capital is probably a fair option. In fact, I'm colouring it in a minute. Let me move them up there. That way you guys can actually see what can only be described as an elephant division moving down towards the third capital it will take, which is just purely ridiculous at this point. Like, the entire idea of an elephant division was insane. And then to see how effective it is by the fact it's literally about to take its third capital of this conflict is purely impressive in itself. In fact, it has just taken it. Lovely. Iran, you want to hire a new capital over here? Because we're waiting to take one. Right, so let's just move these guys back down here to take even more territory on this side of the nation. We'll move some troops into a new front line over here to close this pocket. But yeah, we've effectively taken all of Iran here. I say effectively because there's not much that they can do at this point. Yeah, I was about to say, there just isn't anything they could do to return that situation to a positive victory for themselves. They were completely encircled. So, yeah, they were pretty much done there. Right, and that is the entirety of Iran surrendered and joined up to our nation in itself. And yeah, we now have Iran. Who else do we have war goals with? We had a war goal with Chinese nation, British Burma, France, Portugal, British Raj, and British Raj. Great. No matter what we do here, we're going to war with Britain, which is fun. Until you actually realise how much territory the British actually have. And then you realise it's no longer fun, it's purely pain. So yeah, I'm looking to avoid this in any and all way possible, but I doubt that's going to happen. What's this about? Right, and then this is, yeah, okay, not territory related. This is territory related, but the problem is, it's just a straight war. We'll do it as a background focus, because I don't really want to go straight in for that one. However, obviously we've got two mountaineers here that can be very useful for the oncoming campaign. I don't feel like, oh, there's more troops. We'll put them in there, that'll probably fill that one out. Oh, close. So more troops are assigned. No? Okay. Right, so we have a war goal with Xinjiang. Yes, good. We are simply going to deploy into the region that just doesn't like any troops at all being deployed into it, and we're hopefully going to take Xinjiang out. This could create a general war with the entirety of China, but we are erring on the side that no one's going to do anything about it. The likelihood is people will do something about it, but we'll have a go. We'll do that. I reckon it's probably a safe bet. We can also integrate some of these territories here, and then we'll suggest a transfer of that. We're just basically trying to take whatever we can at this point. You can only do one at a time, fair enough. Also, we'll have to add some more command power here, just to make sure that we are all good in terms of trying to get more territory from the British Raj here. We'll ask for that as well. That should hopefully work out a little bit better. And then we'll start to mobilize all the troops up to the border with Xinjiang here. In fact, I can't be bothered to wait for that long. Let's use a little console command called the teleporting tool, where we're effectively just going to teleport all the troops onto the border, and then pretty much declare war from there, because why not? Oh, they're not actually protected by anyone. Thought they were going to be. They're not. We'll go straight in. They might join the Soviet Union. Who knows? I'm hoping they won't, but honestly don't know. We'll move straight across the border here. We'll just wait for the elephant divisions to get a supply back, and then they'll go and do some capital taking, as they like so much to do. Right, so we now have a bit of Xinjiang territory here. This is quite an expansion already, I must say. We've gone from just small half of Afghanistan to now controlling all of Iran, all of Afghanistan, and starting to control parts of China, which is such a massive expansion from what we once did have. Which is good. It's good to have, massive amounts of new territory, which is quite nice. Right, it's a little bit later in time-wise than I thought it was. In real life, it's currently almost 3:45. This is going to be a stressful time uploading this video and trying to get it out on time. Well, we'll have a go. Normally takes me about an hour and a bit to upload videos. Normally, well, it depends on circumstances surrounding it. Sometimes it can take 2.5 hours to get it all uploaded and stuff, and edited and whatever else needs to happen and whatnot. Obviously, I do it on, I don't know if I've ever said this on video, but I do it on Mac or MacBook. Not sponsored, and sometimes I might have issues here or there with it where it takes a little bit longer. Hoping it's really short today, but who knows, we'll see in a minute. But we have the elephant divisions here, which means it's time to take another capital, because that's what they're good at. In fact, we should probably award some medals, so we'll give them the highest one here, because that'll help them out a little bit. More, of course. We'll give them some more of the higher ranking medals. They even took part of, yeah, they are surely capital taking troops. They were part of taking Kabul, they were part of taking Tehran. They just basically took everything at this rate. Yeah, they are certainly what's to be known now as the capital taking troops. They took 3 Iranian capitals, 1 Afghani capital, and they're now going to hopefully take the Xinjiang capital. So, you know, definitely pushing them. I don't know if their job role is supposed to be simply taking out capitals of enemy nations, but yeah. Yeah, we're not giving up a claim. Yeah, we'll threaten them with war and then we'll see how that goes. My fear is here that the British Raj will declare war on us for the threat of war. Because I haven't actually rejected it. Oh, great. Yeah, of course. Of course that was going to happen. This is probably the best time to leave this video. Right. We'll end this video here because it's getting interesting. So if you did like this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications when you do subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And in next week's video, we will either be back with another video on Afghanistan, or we will be on Millennium Dawn. It will be one of the two. More likely is that we'll be back with Afghanistan, but you know, you never know. It might be that we have a game on Millennium Dawn. Anyway, whatever it is, I hope to see you there next week for that video. Anyway, bye for now.